friends! Today I'm going to talk to you about my new favourite pseudo-western, Hell or High Water, starring my old favourite, Jeff Bridges. Chris Pine and Ben Foster are in there too, and they're pretty good, but you know, Jeff Bridges. I love a lot of actors, but Jeff Bridges is the best of the best, and his last few movies have not quite been the calibre we might expect, let's say. The last thing I remember seeing him in was Seventh Son, which even I, with my vested interest, found a hard-going experience. But he is back on form because this film is excellent. It's the second film I've seen this week that is excellent. And I still haven't seen supposedly the best film of the week, which is Captain Fantastic, so I can't wait for that because I think it's going to blow my mind. The plot to Hell or High Water is you've got these two brothers, Chris Pine and Ben Foster, who are kind of an odd couple. Chris Pine's kind of baby-faced and quite innocent and good in certain ways, whereas Ben Foster's kind of a hardened criminal and gets fun from doing criminal acts. Anyway, they decide together to rob small-town banks around Texas. In the other camp, you've got Jeff Bridges as the sheriff on his last ever job before he retires, and his tired partner who's sick of his bitter sniping. Although the sniping is very much with love, and he does point out this partner will miss the bickering most when he retires. There's something very old-fashioned about the construction and the dynamic of this film, not to mention the amazing setting. You might know someone wearing a cactus print dress because there are a couple of cactuses featured in the desert. It actually reminds me a bit of Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, which is an old Jeff Bridges film, which was another kind of pseudo-western of the time. Aside from the fact that I absolutely adore Jeff Bridges in whatever he does, he was particularly excellent in this, and I'd be quite shocked if he's not mentioned in the Oscars this year again. Chris Pine was good. He showed more depth than I've seen him in other movies. There's still something which I think is an unfortunate physicality, that he's a very kind of baby-faced kind of actor, and it can make it hard for him to cut through, but this character in a way was quite wide-eyed. Ben Foster was really good in this. I'm not quite sure what else I've seen him in, I'll have to check it out. He seems to have one of those faces that can probably morph into different things depending on the part. But he was very entertaining, he delivered his part really well. The setting is just amazing, you just feel like you are there. I really want to see that part of America, because if it is as old-fashioned and untouched as this film makes out, it looks like it would be incredible. And I really did enjoy the dynamic of the goodies versus the baddies, and you're never quite sure if either of them are goodies or baddies, and you know, I guess towards the end it becomes more clear, but it's the kind of cops and robbers, cowboys and Native Americans dynamic. The pacing is really interesting because it has these bursts of action when the robberies occur, or various other little plot devices. And then there's quite a lot of contemplative conversations in lovely locations, but it doesn't drag and it doesn't feel misplaced. It feels like you're just in there and you're with it. It's really clever and hard to put a finger on how you're engaged with this movie. I think that the dialogue plays a big part in this though, because the characters are really well fleshed out and there are some really funny lines. It's a funny film. One of my favourite lines was actually delivered by Jeff Bridges' partner, which is, "Do you want to hear this, or do you want to just sit there and let Alzheimer's take its course?" Because you know he's old and he's going to retire from that. Ben Foster's character also had a line when he was trying to chat a lady up that said something about, "You'll be sitting in the nursing home and you'll think of me and giggle." Something that really adds to the atmosphere and deserves a lot of credit is Nick Cave and Warren Ellis' soundtrack, which I've already downloaded to my phone for my next journey, because it really encapsulates the mood and helps flesh it out. All in all, I really just can't praise this movie enough. It was excellent. You have to see it. This is the type of film that should be being pushed a lot harder, because it's been a bit of a meh kind of summer, and then this type of thing comes along, Kubo and the Two Strings comes along. It makes me really happy that through a lot of films where I've been a bit like meh, there really are some great ones out there. But what did you guys think? Did you love it as much as I did? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Love you, Jeff.